One of my good friends told me, hey man, you wrestled, I'm doing this stuff kind of like wrestling, and this was in 2003. I didn't even know what jiu-jitsu or UFC or MMA or anything was. And he's like, it's like wrestling, but you get to choke people. And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because in wrestling, you know, chokes or any kind of arm locks is illegal. So I tried it, and the guys, they kicked my ass. You know, I feel like I survived for a little bit because of wrestling, but they started choking me and taking my arms. I was like, I walked out of there after an hour and a half. I was like, man, I gotta learn that stuff. I've always been kind of, I mean, because of my, you know, the way I was raised, you know, we were always real humble, and so, yeah, definitely. You know, definitely like how you were saying, like the best people, like growing up, like the people who wrestled or the people who did stuff like that, always kind of cling to, because, you know, we sweat, you know, we bleed together, and there's like that kind of bond we formed. So it was, you know, just like this, like all my friends, every single one of my friends fights or trains. So I mean, they're, you know, there's just a common respect. First fight I fought was a boxer, so I was like nervous. I was like, man, I was like, this guy's gonna punch me again. I don't know what he's gonna do. And so kind of James, the boxing instructor, we put a game plan together at the time, and I was like, I'm just gonna kick the guy. And so in my mindset in the fight was just to throw as many kicks as I could to kind of keep him away. And I remember the first time he hit me, like the first time I actually got really hit, not sparring, you know, and I've been in fights before, like street fights, but, you know, like the first time I was actually hit by the guy, I was like, wow. I kind of stepped on, like, man, this guy hit hard, you know? And right away I went back to wrestling. I clinched the guy, took him down, and then I was very comfortable there. But, you know, like that was the whole time, because of wrestling, you know, being clear-headed and knowing, you know, what to expect, and you know, and the conditioning that comes from wrestling. The whole time I'm in the fight, I'm just thinking of the game plan, pretty much, you know, whatever it is. I'm kind of that person. I put a game plan together, and I try to stick to it as much as possible. No matter if I'm getting beat up or not, I'm going to try to stick to the game plan. And again, it wasn't something that I wanted to do, so now it's become something that I have to do, you know, just that it's a competitive, you know, person inside of me. I just have to do it, you know, whatever happens. If I lose, you know, if I win, I have to do it, you know. I feel like, you know, 20, 30 years down the line, I'm like, man, what if I didn't do it, you know? So I don't want to do it. You know, that's really pretty much about it. I mean, I just want to be honest with myself, you know. As far as like what everybody else thinks, it really doesn't matter. You know, if I have to do something, or like I feel like I'm holding myself back, you know, or, you know, someone's holding me back, you know, like I try to be as honest as possible, you know, with myself, and that kind of leads to everyone around me. So that's pretty much it. I mean, nothing else really, you know, just being honest. I do fight for kind of, you know, all that, you know, family and everything else. You know, when I was younger, again, like my dad's like kind of a tough guy, real, you know, strict and to the point. And he told me when I was younger, he's like, you know, like the way to like see people, and he would tell me like, you know, like everyone that's here today on this earth, you know, they're here for a reason, and not like some spiritual or religious, but like their bloodline is here for a reason. You know, their bloodline has survived this long, and, you know, so in everyone there's a warrior, a fighter. You know, either their grandparents or their ancestors in some way, and you know, so like growing up, you know, with all this, it's like, and seeing different people, whether, you know, they're standoffish or, you know, and again, I'm not an aggressive person, but like, you know, you see people, you know, growing up, you see people get beat up, or you see people, and kind of like a sick way, like the way I kind of translated that is like, you know, it's like, man, I think like how did that person's bloodline survive this long if this is what it came down to, you know, this guy, you know. So it's like, for me, I fight to kind of represent that bloodline and kind of stay true to it, and you know, as much as I can.